study three terms, important terms which we are going to study are differentiation, de-differentiation and redifferentiation. Differentiation, de-differentiation and redifferentiation. Okay, before proceeding, in short I'll tell you what is the meaning of differentiation, de-differentiation and redifferentiation. See what happens. First of all, this meristematic cell is there. You know, meristematic cell means it is having the capacity to divide and redivide. Suppose this meristematic cell lost the power of division and it becomes a permanent cell. Okay, suppose this meristematic cell lost the power of division and it becomes permanent cell. You can say it becomes parenchyma. Okay, what this parenchyma will do? It will not divide because it is a permanent cell, and it will not divide and it will start doing its own function. Like parenchyma it will act, like chlorenchyma it will act, but it will not do the function of division. So this process, when the dividing cell, meristematic cell, get converted into permanent cell, this process is called as differentiation. Okay, now de-differentiation means what? Now suppose this cell becomes permanent. Now by chance it happens this permanent cell again regain the capacity to divide. Suppose this permanent cell again regain the capacity to divide and redivide, means it is acting now as a meristematic cell. Okay, suppose this permanent cell which has lost the power of division regain the power of division and again it divide. So this process, it becomes, or it is acting as a meristematic cell. So this conversion of permanent cell again when regain the capacity to divide and redivide, this stage is called as de-differentiation. Differentiation means when the meristematic cell or dividing cell lost the power of division and it becomes permanent, that stage is called as differentiation. When the permanent cell which has lost the power of division and becomes permanent, this cell, permanent cell which has lost the power of division, again regain the capacity or again regain the power of division and it is acting as a meristematic cell and ready to divide or divides, then this step is called as de-differentiation. Okay, now what happens? Now this permanent cell regain the capacity to divide and redivide. Again this permanent cell which is acting as a meristematic cell again loses the capacity to divide and redivide and again it becomes permanent. Okay, second time when it becomes permanent, then that is called as redifferentiation. Okay, so what is differentiation? When the meristematic cell, dividing cell becomes permanent, then it is called as differentiation. When the permanent cell regain the capacity to divide and redivide, then it is called as, then that process is called as differentiation. When second time the permanent cell lost the power of division and becomes permanent, that is called as redifferentiation. Okay, now we'll proceed. See, differentiation means when the meristematic cell becomes permanent. When the meristematic cell loses the power of division and it becomes permanent, that is called as differentiation. I'll consider one example here. Meristematic cell when becomes xylem, it will start conducting water. When it becomes parenchyma, it becomes permanent. It will start doing its own function. Okay, so this is differentiation. De-differentiation means when the permanent cell which has lost the power of division again regain the power of division and again start acting as a meristematic cell, then that process is called as de-differentiation. I can consider one example. Parenchyma cells, which is actually a permanent cell, it regain the capacity to divide and redivide. Parenchyma cells which is generally present between the vascular bundle. Suppose this is the vascular bundle and parenchyma cells which are present over here, actually they become permanent. But what happens, sometimes what happens, this parenchyma cell which is present between the vascular bundle, they again regain the capacity to divide and redivide and they form interfascicular cambium. They form cambium over here. So this is called as de-differentiation. Now last is redifferentiation means, now suppose the permanent meristematic here, redifferentiation means now the permanent cell, or you can say meristematic cell, because permanent cell now becomes or acting as a meristematic cell, when it second time loses the capacity to divide and redivide and again become permanent cell, then that stage is called as, or that process is called as redifferentiation. Again we'll consider one example. If suppose the interfascicular cambium is there, this cambium forms xylem and phloem. This xylem and phloem, which is formed by the meristematic cell, again loses its capacity and it forms the secondary xylem and phloem becomes permanent and they start doing their own function. So here I have explained you differentiation, de-differentiation and redifferentiation.